Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about a concept that I like to call my foundation wardrobe. So this video is for the person that maybe their skin tone changes throughout the year, maybe their skin type changes throughout the year, maybe it gets a little drier in the winter and a bit oilier in the summer, or just someone that really likes to switch up their makeup. If you are the person that likes to wear the same kind of foundation, the same level of coverage, the same finish every single day of the entire year, this video might not be for you. But if you're a makeup junkie like myself, or you just love switching things up from time to time, this video is for you. In today's video, I'm going to share the key products that I have in my foundation wardrobe and kind of just some general recommendations for you guys to add to your own to make your foundation collection even more versatile. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Alright, so let's kick it off with what's actually in my foundation wardrobe. So I have 5 products sitting in front of me. We're going to go through each one and kind of talk about why this is important in my rotation and kind of how I use it to customize the foundations in my collection. So the first one I'm going to talk about is a good staple mattifying high coverage foundation, and for that I have the Maybelline Superstay foundation. This foundation has really great coverage. It wears a really long time on the skin and it gives my skin a very matte, flawless appearance. So I actually hardly ever wear this foundation on its own anymore because I'm not really into super high coverage at the moment, but I like to mix this with some other products I'm going to mention in a second to kind of customize the finish, customize the coverage level, and customize how it sits on my skin. This is an amazing product to add a little bit of coverage or even a lot of coverage to some of your sheer or more dewy foundations, or it could be mixed with a dewy foundation or like an oil or something to create a bit of a dewier, more fresh finish. The next foundation I want to talk about is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion. Now this is my dewy foundation. This one's actually the only dewy foundation that I own, and it's my first dewy foundation, believe it or not. I usually stick with mattifying ones because my skin tends to be more combo, but it has been getting a little bit drier in the winter the past couple of years, so I decided to get something that's actually nice and dewy and give a little hydration back to my skin. But this is absolutely great for adding a little bit of moisture back to my skin, adding more of a fresh appearance to the skin. The only problem I have with this specific foundation is that the shade is too dark. You guys can probably even tell on camera that the shade just does not quite match me. It's a little bit too dark. So this one I always have to mix with something, but I love mixing these two together because this one is light enough for me, but this one adds just a little bit of dew to make this look a little bit more natural on the skin and to wear a little bit more naturally through the day. It's a really great combo. This next foundation has been such an amazing product to have in my arsenal because it has truly allowed me to try foundations out that I wouldn't have been able to try before because they didn't have a shade that was light enough for my extremely fair skin. That is the LA Girl Pro HD Cover Foundation in the shade White. So I use this because I'm deathly pale and I just mix a pump of this into whatever foundation I'm using. If it's too dark, like this Flower Beauty one, I add 1 pump to a pump of this and I'm good to go. It's a beautiful job of just kind of lightening the color. I don't notice that it changes the formula too much, and even if it does, I feel like I like how this sits on the skin, and I think it does a really great job of just changing the color of my foundation. So the final item that I have in my foundation wardrobe is the Physicians Formula Argan Wear Argan Oil. So I use this in kind of a similar way that I use this Light Illusion foundation, but for a really long time I only had this oil. I don't know if you really need both of these products, a dewy foundation and an oil. I think that you could get away with just having an oil and more of a heavy coverage foundation. Mix those two together, you'll get a sheer coverage and a dewier finish. But I like having them both in my arsenal. I feel like an oil is also very multifunctional in other ways. You can add it to like your eyebrow pomade if it's starting to dry up. You can add it to cream contour. You can even use this to really pinpointedly hydrate certain spots on your face. I know in the wintertime that I get pretty dry around my nose, sometimes on my chin too, and I just need a little bit of added moisture in those areas before I apply makeup, and this does a great job of doing that. So the last item that I'm including is kind of a product that I can't live without, but it's definitely not totally necessary for your foundation wardrobe. It's kind of just an extra that I personally really love, and that is kind of a medium coverage, maybe satin matte foundation that fits your skin tone exactly. Now, the fits my skin tone exactly part is why I love this foundation so much. I wear the shade 110, and I feel like this is the best foundation match for me that I've come across at the drugstore. And this is just one of the most incredible mixing foundations that I have in my collection. I love creating all sorts of foundation cocktails with this. I love mixing it with the Superstay. I love mixing it with the Flower Beauty. I love mixing all three of them together. It creates a beautiful, beautiful finish on the skin. But I used to mix this foundation in with some other ones that I had that were too dark with me before I had the white one. But this one I feel like is just, it's just the perfect mixing foundation. It's a great little like base for any kind of foundation cocktail. So now that I've showed you what's in my foundation wardrobe, I want to talk about why I think it's so important. So as you guys might know, I'm on a low buy this year. I haven't really made like a huge deal out of it and like announced it on my channel. I haven't done a lot of like public tracking of it, but I'm trying to buy less makeup this year and use up what I have before I buy it. And having these kind of tools in my arsenal and this variety of products really allows me to kind of customize my face products so I'm not constantly wanting to go out and buy that new thing. So let's say there was a dewy foundation that's releasing in the next couple weeks. You know, we're moving into spring and summer. The trend right now is really going towards kind of natural skin, no makeup. What I could do instead of running out and buying the newest dewy foundation is either use my Flower Beauty foundation or use my oil with the Superstay or even use it with the Maybelline Fit Me. It all just depends on what I'm looking for. I feel like this is also a really great way to kind of make your foundations work any time of year, especially with this awesome mixer shade. I'm pretty sure this foundation has a pretty wide range of shades, so this would be a great one to grab if you need to even darken your foundation. I know the Pro Matte has like a purple shade and a couple of other like weird mixer shades. I'll insert a picture right here if I can find one. But I think those deal with undertones too, so that's also a really great way to make some foundations work. If you get a little bit tanner and your undertone changes slightly in the summertime, I think this just makes your collection that much more versatile and allows you to really shop your stash instead of buying new and not using things up before they expire. So finally, I wanted to give some general guidelines. Now these are very, very loose guidelines because depending on your needs, these might not be the perfect guidelines for your perfect foundation wardrobe, but for me and for what I think could suit a lot of people, this will really, really help. So I think you definitely need a full coverage matte foundation unless you have like crazy dry skin. Don't get a matte one. You guys know your own skin type and preferences. Make a judgment. You guys know your own skin. But I would recommend a full coverage matte foundation, something that you can really, really depend on for coverage, something that's really going to add some staying power to whatever cocktail you add. Something to make your foundation dewy, so you could either go with an actual dewy foundation like the Light Illusion, or you could go in with an oil. Like I said, I think the oil is a bit more multifunctional, but I love a good dewy foundation. Well, I love this dewy foundation. I haven't really tried another one, but this really does sit on the skin really beautifully and wear so nicely throughout the day. And then I would also advise you throw in kind of a foundation mixer shade, whether that is to lighten or to darken. This definitely doesn't darken, but this is my perfect skin tone match, so I know I can always mix this in with something if the color's just a little bit off to make it match me a little bit better. So I know this was kind of a shorter video, you guys. I've honestly had this video idea for a really long time, but I was kind of nervous that it wouldn't be interesting for you guys. Or that you just wouldn't find it helpful, but I just finally said, you know what, I've been kicking this around in my head for so long. I really want to share it with you guys. So yeah, there's my little foundation wardrobe. I really hope that you guys found this video helpful. Let me know down in the comments if you guys use your foundations in a similar way. Do you have the same products? Do you already kind of have a foundation wardrobe built up? Let me know what's in it down below. I would love to hear your responses because I think this is a really interesting concept. I feel like the makeup world as a whole is moving much closer towards kind of shop your stash, really curating your collection, and I think this is a great way to do that. So if you guys are new here, hi, my name is Sydney. I post beauty videos 3 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And that's actually going to wrap it up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!